Hi, I'm Dan, and in this video what we're going to do is talk to you about our training approach for getting people certified on Microsoft Azure. So in this video we're going to cover off what the new Azure certifications are. We're going to take a look at the course structure and the training preparation we provide to our customers to get them ready to sit and pass these exams, but most importantly to make them competent practitioners in Azure. We're going to look at the things we do to make the delivery of these courses as palatable as possible, to try and make the days a bit more fun, to make it a bit more appealing, and to make it more accessible. We're going to take a look at how our approach for training is going to minimize the impact on your day job. There's a lot of people out there who are contractors or consultants or work for employers that don't have a huge amount of budget. So being able to minimize outage from work and minimize the amount of time you're spending away from your family is really important to everybody. And we hope we're going to make that better for folks. Then finally, we're going to take a look at our schedule and our pricing options. There's no secret to it. The legacy Azure Microsoft certifications were really painful. To be honest, you had to be an architect and you had to have a lot of depth in systems administration and software development to really get anywhere with them. So fortunately for us, Microsoft has just redeveloped the certification library for Azure. What sets us aside is there are now 3 levels of certification. Fundamentals for beginners, people who are maybe just starting their career or just starting to work with Azure and need to prove their competence with it. Then we move up to the associate level. So associate has been separated out into 2 major tracks. We've got administration, which is for people who deal with infrastructure type activities within Azure. Then we've got the developer certification. A word of warning. If you don't have any prior experience of writing C# code or ASP.NET and Visual Studio, the training course is not going to prepare you how to be a software developer. And there is a prerequisite of knowledge needed to do well in this exam around that. What this course and exam is designed to do is to make sure you're able to develop software for Azure. It won't teach you how to write C#, you need to bring that experience with you, but it will tell you how to implement the patterns and practices to make your code run well in Azure. Now, in order to be able to answer the questions in the exam and pass the simulation assessments, you're going to need to be able to write some code in that. So, if you don't come from a software development background, or if you don't have any depth experience of Microsoft software development in Visual Studio with the .NET framework, it's probably worth your while going away and doing some other training first before you attempt that track. Then we have the DevOps engineer certification. This is an expert level certification, which means the exam itself is going to be quite rigorous. Not impossible to pass, but it is going to test you. What it's going to test your ability on is your ability to manage Azure resources, to be able to set up Visual Studio team services, which is now called Azure DevOps, and its ability to be able to implement things like providing telemetry back to software developers, to be able to take releases of software and deploy them to platform as a service or virtual machines. Now, you don't need to be a software developer to be able to do that. We can teach you the things that are needed to make you aware of software development. We can teach you to look at bits of code to understand the processes that go on here and how to work with the tools. But it's important to understand that this is a great expert level qualification for people that are primarily engineers and not developers. Then finally, we have the Azure Certified Solutions Architect. This is probably the crown jewels. It's probably the most desirable of the certifications. Out of both of the expert ones, this is probably the one that's going to drive the highest salary level for you. If you're going to be an architect, you've got to be able to understand the fundamental building blocks of Azure, how applications work, how they talk together. Again, you don't necessarily need to be a software developer to do that, but you've got to be familiar and capable of looking inside some C# code and understanding if particular patterns and practices have been followed. But a lot of the stuff that we teach you in the fundamentals course and the primer will help and prepare you for that. One of the things that made the legacy Azure certifications such a traumatic and painful experience was the sheer weight of experience across architecture, infrastructure, and development skills that you needed to have. Now with these role-based certifications, If you're a developer or you're a systems administrator, there's a track there that works well for you. It's also possible to come at this as an experienced solutions architect, by which I mean somebody who's written and designed applications, not an infrastructure architect. Just take the fundamentals course and then move on to the expert level track. So choose your track carefully. If you do have any questions about, how relevant your experience is or what the best track to get through this is, feel free to reach out to us and we can give you some guidance around that. The Certified Azure Fundamentals course and exam is designed for taking people with very, very limited experience. In most cases, we can take people who, as long as you know how to work with Windows 10, how to log into Windows and to actually connect to a website in Windows 10, we can generally get you there through this course. What we do is we take half a day out to help you understand what applications are, the mechanics of them, what actually happens in a .NET application and a Java, how distributed applications work. We show you what actually C# code looks like and what some of the patterns in there look like, how to look at a JSON file and a template and understand how that's storing configuration and information settings. Why do we do that? Because pretty much everything we're going to do in Azure is about hosting applications. We find that if people have a solid understanding of the architecture of applications, it makes the further studies, when they start digging into how applications are hosted and presented and run in Azure, so much easier. We then, over that weekend, run through the Azure Fundamentals course, which talks about managing subscriptions and resources, Azure storage, which can be very different to traditional types of storage you might have worked with in servers and desktop computers. Taking a look at managing virtual machines and virtual networks and identity management for the cloud. We wrap that up with the last half day of that weekend, preparing you for the exam. Now, these exams are brilliant because finally at last, Microsoft are testing real world skills with them. And they do that through simulation scenarios. They'll give you a briefing asking you to go away and undertake a task or to build something in Azure. You go away and you build it, and they look at it and make sure it's right. And a big percentage of the score in these exams is based on those exam simulations. So we get you ready for that by helping you understand the kind of tasks you'll be asked to do in these exams. Not the exact ones, but the kind of things. Then we'll demonstrate how to undertake those tasks and give you some simulation labs where you get hands-on experience of building and implementing those solutions. We'll also use the Microsoft official practice tests to make sure you're familiar with the format of the exam and to test your knowledge of the key facts that the real exam questions will test for the exam. In the Azure Certified Administrator Associate course, what we do is we separate out the delivery into 2 non-consecutive weekends. Over the first weekend, we'll run through the first training course of the 2, which is all about managing subscriptions and resources, implementing and managing storage, getting virtual machines up and running, making virtual machines connect to networks, and also as well identity management for the cloud. During the second weekend, we'll then drill into some of the more advanced subjects like migrating servers from Hyper-V and VMware into Azure, implementing application services, working with some advanced virtual networking scenarios, and also how to do secure identity management in Azure. And again, on that second weekend, we're going to put you through the exam prep to make sure you're ready to succeed well in the exam simulations and in the exam questions by having the skills and knowledge that you need in the real world to do the job. If you've got some experience working with Azure already, this is probably a good course to come on to make a start. The Azure Fundamentals course will give you some advantages towards this, but if you're looking at the Azure Fundamentals course and think, I already know that stuff, maybe this is a good starting point for you. The Certified Azure Developer Associate course is designed to take people who are experienced software developers and get them up and ready to sit the Microsoft Associate Developer exam. Now, there are actually 3 component courses that Microsoft prescribes for this certification. So there's a lot of conceptual ground to cover over the 2 weekends. But it's important to remember this course is not designed to make you a software developer. We can teach you how to examine C# code and look at JSON files, but you really need to have some hands-on software development experience. If you're somebody who's come from an infrastructure background, yeah, I would strongly recommend against taking this course and the exam on. It's not for the faint of heart who don't have software development experience. If this is something you'd like to pursue and you do want to become an Azure software developer, but you don't have that prerequisite development experience, get in touch with us. There's ways we can help you get ready to do that stuff, but it is going to involve going away and learning Visual Studio and learning Visual C# to get you ready for this stuff. The Certified Azure Solutions Architect training course is also divided into 2 non-consecutive weekends. The idea being is you get a bit of headspace between each of the deliveries. To become Azure Certified as a Solutions Architect, you first of all need to have become either an Azure Certified Administrator Associate or a Developer Associate. So this course is designed as being a top-up to the concepts you will have learned on one of those previous courses. There are 2 exams and there are 2 component courses that we go through. It's fair to say that as an architect, you do need to have some level of software development knowledge, but it's not as in depth as the developer course. So yes, you're going to need to be able to look at code snippets and understand what's happening inside some C#, but you're not going to be expected to create any code or develop any code as part of that. Also, it's important to bear in mind that this is a qualification for people who understand the big Azure picture and most importantly, understand how the very many components fit together to provide a solution architecture for an organization. As a Microsoft certified Azure DevOps engineer, what you've basically done is demonstrated your ability to get DevOps processes working inside your organization. That means you're helping organizations use the technologies in Azure and from other vendors to implement agile software development. That means being able to make things like continuous integration, continuous delivery, dependency management, application infrastructure, continuous feedback, and a DevOps strategy to life inside an organization. So again, like the fundamentals course, we can deliver this training over just 1 weekend, but it is a really, really interesting and fascinating course. You don't need to have any major software development experience for this. What you do need to have is a good understanding of what applications are. And that's the kind of stuff that we cover in the fundamentals course, in the primer, and the Azure fundamentals part of that course. So that's a great prerequisite for this. The good news is there's just 1 exam to pass for this. You do need to become an Azure Certified Associate first. The expert level exams are not grueling, but they are testing. So we do invest some time with you to take you through an exam prep day for it. So the idea is that you'll know what to expect in the exam. You'll know the kind of scenarios that will be asked to deal with in the simulations, and you'll know how to go about doing those tasks. Again, our ethos here is about quickly and pragmatic, giving people the skills they need to be certifiable. Our process isn't about taking you through brain dumps and getting you to understand how to answer the questions in the exam. We teach you how to do the job, yeah? And we teach you how to have the skills that are necessary to pass the exam because you can do the job. And that's really important when you look at these new Microsoft Azure qualifications. They are a really good indication of whether or not you're up to being able to do the job or not. And that's what makes them so valuable when you're developing your career. Now, we're going to be doing some long days as we do this training. Rather than just doing an 8-hour day, accelerated training means it's a 12-hour long day. Now, that can seem really grueling. And to be honest, it can be. But we do some things to try and make life easier for everybody. The first thing we do is, rather than just having one trainer talking to you, we always deliver with a pair of MCT certified Azure expert certified instructors in the room. Now, the people that will be training you, English is their first language, so there are no communication challenges or barriers here. We try to drive for a very informal and relaxed learning environment, and that's why we've partnered with the good people at Head of Steam, the Head of Steam chain of pubs, and they've provided for us function rooms where we deliver the training from. So not only have we got access to really good high quality display equipment in there, but we've also got a really comfortable, relaxed working environment. And the best thing about it is there's a bar back there. It's part of the training cost. We're going to provide you unlimited soft drinks from the bar as well. And there's also snacks, and an evening meal and lunch is provided. If you've ever had the chance to go to a Head of Steam for something to eat, try it. The food there really is first class. Most importantly, we're going to try and inject some fun into this. Now, we're not going to be cracking any cheesy jokes, but there's a lot of the time all the instructors will bring in some insightful anecdotes from their career. What we'll try and do is tell you about the times where things have gone wrong for us, and with either bad or amusing consequences. The idea being is that that stuff can break things up a bit. These stories can help bring stuff to life as well, but it does provide a break from the idea of just trying to have to take in fact after fact after fact. And also as well, I remember a time in my life where technology was fun. Exploring with this stuff was fun. And this is a chance to get hands-on with technology in a fun kind of way. Nothing's going to blow up if you get something wrong. You can get in here and make mistakes. The whole idea is we want to try and make this as an enjoyable experience for you as possible. We want you to feel charged up and happy to come back for more and more of this stuff and keep developing your career with us. So if you're considering investing your money and time, or your employer's money and time in training, it's important to know that you're going to get good quality tuition. There's nothing worse than going along on a training course and finding that you've got somebody that's just talking from the slides, or you've got somebody who knows the curriculum, knows the coursewares, but doesn't necessarily know the technology or the real world implications of that technology. That's why all of our instructors here at Red Bear are primarily practicing architects and engineers, rather than people that just deliver training. What that means is, even though our guys have been certified as Microsoft certified experts and Microsoft certified trainers, you can be sure that you've got people that are working day in, day out with the technology. And that's what really matters when we're trying to deliver and impart skills into yourselves. So let's meet the team. I'm Dan Oliver. I worked at Microsoft MCS for 10 years, where I mostly worked in data center automation and cloud technologies. Then after that time, I went to work for Microsoft's Worldwide Center of Excellence for Azure, where I worked on some of the very first implementations and migrations to Azure for very large customers across the Middle East, Europe, and Africa. My current skills, I'm mostly an Azure Enterprise Architect and a Solutions Architect. That means day to day, I spend my mornings in meeting rooms with customers, helping them understand what their business wants to achieve and explaining and designing for them how that can be achieved quickly and efficiently through Azure. I then get to spend my afternoons and in a lot of occasions, early evenings with my sleeves rolled up implementing this stuff in Azure. So I'm a very hands-on practitioner. My colleague and friend Graham Turner has worked with me here at Red Bear for the last 5 years. He is a Azure infrastructure and DevOps architect. That means he spends his days, a lot like me, designing Azure solutions, specifically around infrastructure and DevOps. So he'll be taking care of building out Azure virtual networks, migrating virtual machines, setting up management and DevOps technologies for customers. We're quite lucky to have Graham on the delivery team here, because prior to him working for Red Bear as an architect, he used to work for Pearson VUE, where he was a technical trainer and a quality assurance manager for their technical training for Microsoft technologies. So Graham's got experience of teaching everybody from quite young, inexperienced apprentices right the way up to very experienced architects and systems engineers who are just new to Azure. One of the things Graham does for us is he makes sure that all our deliveries are of a really good standard, and make sure we follow good practices for training and instruction. Matt Foster has been with Red Bear for 5 years as well. He's our Azure DevOps manager. That means he is very much the hands-on team manager of the guys that run our managed service team. So day in, day out, Matt and his team are implementing DevOps tools and processes for customers, They are monitoring and maintaining their applications. They're taking care of releases and changes and building out Azure infrastructure in production for real customers. Matt works alongside Craig Redpath. So Craig's been with Red Bear for 8 years. He again is an Azure infrastructure and DevOps architect. So he's been working alongside Matt and Graham on the last 26 projects they've worked on together. And the idea is that Craig has been spearheading design and technical implementation. So what you can see from this is all the guys here are very much hands-on people who do this and know it and know the stuff. They know the real world stuff. That means you can be comfortable when you come on one of our courses and you ask these guys a question about something that isn't mentioned in the slides. It's all right. They're going to be able to help you with that stuff. Now, personally, I absolutely hate traveling for business, to the extent that I don't go away on vacations anymore because I'm so tired of hotel rooms and airports. So we wanted to make this training as easy as possible for people. So what we've done is we've chosen to deliver it from 4 locations that are hopefully really convenient for you. So those are Belfast, Manchester, London, and Amsterdam. All these cities have really good transportation links. So there's a fairly good catchment area where you can get into these cities and back for them pretty easily. Hopefully what that means is you can come on these weekend deliveries and not necessarily have to stay away from your family overnight. Or if you do, at least you're staying in a town that's got a little bit of culture and excitement to it. If you don't want to have to travel, all of these courses, when we do all of our deliveries, we do stream them out over Skype for Business, and we record all the deliveries as well. So if you're going through a series of courses with us and you find that this weekend you're just too tired to travel or you don't want to, you can choose to come along and attend remotely over Skype for Business. So you can do this from the comfort of your home. Or if you've got commitments to a particular weekend, you can choose to attend from another location as well. It's nice as well knowing that if you do forget something, there's a recording up online of the deliveries as well, and you can go back and recap on what people have said. And if you're still stuck with that, you can always reach out to the delivery instructors and ask for help. This is our delivery schedule for 2019. The idea is we're providing this training on weekends to make it as minimal impact to your day job as possible and to your social life as well. So generally speaking, the pattern is that we run through deliveries in London, Edinburgh, Belfast, and Amsterdam throughout the month. Then over the year, we then do deliveries of the other training courses. If you find that a particular date in a particular city aren't a good fit for you, remember you can always attend remotely. Or it's also possible as well, if you want, you can mix and match your locations. You're not locked into just attending at one particular location. You can attend wherever you like. Here at Red Bear, we're a social enterprise. So we are motivated to make a slight profit because that pays the bills and pays people's salaries. But our real goal at Red Bear Technology is to make a positive impact to society. And the way we do that is by helping people develop their careers and get better jobs as a result. That's good for the nation, it's good for the economy, and it's certainly good for the individuals. So what does that mean? Well, first and foremost, we're private delegates attending the training. We make this as financially accessible as possible. You're roughly talking about a cost of £250 per day of training you're going to attend. And that's a lot less than the industry standard. Then you've got to factor in the fact that we're moving through this at a much faster pace. So the other thing you can bear in mind as well is that the profits that are made from this are generally reinvested back into helping people from underprivileged backgrounds get through training and to develop careers for themselves as well. We've worked with some of our partners as well to make finance options available. So if you can't find £1,000 on a credit card to come along and book in one of these training courses, or you can't just find the money from your bank account or your boss, we've got ways to help you spread the cost of this training course just through basically paying in installments through a credit provider. Because we're motivated to help people succeed, what we find is the more training they get, the higher level of qualification you get from this, the greater the chance are you're going to be able to get a really good, well-paid job working as an Azure professional. So what we've done is we've created 2 packages where we've been able to squeeze the price down for people even a bit more. So we've got the an expert level certification package where you get to do fundamentals, one of the associate courses, and one of the expert courses for an entry level price. And again, finance options are available for this. So if you're the kind of really ambitious person that wants to learn everything and do everything, that's possible. We've got here a tracker where we'll take people from learning, the very fundamentals right the way up to both expert level qualifications. And again, we've created this at a level where it's meant to be career defining, career changing, but also very, very affordable. This is an option that we've worked with some Microsoft Gold partners with for them to skill up their own people on as well. Now, people like this because the training schedule doesn't impact with their day-to-day jobs much. And what happens is basically over a year, you can go from being, even just vaguely aware of what Azure is right the way up to being a certified Azure solutions architect. And again, our ethos is not just get you through the exam, it's get you capable to do the tasks and have the knowledge that is tested in the exam. And what you'll find when you start working with these new Microsoft exams, especially with the certifications, this really is about testing capability and not just knowledge and being able to answer multiple choice questions. Again, it can seem like a lot of money, so we have got finance options available to help. Thanks for taking the time out to watch this video. I hope it's been helpful. I hope it's answered some of the questions you have about how to go about getting Azure certified. If you're interested in booking a place or finding out more information, please reach out to Cindy Hast. Cindy's our business development director, and these are her contact details. So feel free to reach out to her with any questions or bookings. Also as well, if you're an organization that works with Azure, did you know that Microsoft takes 7% of the money you spend on Azure with Microsoft and makes it available to a partner? This is what we call partner of record revenues. And what we can do is we can use the partner of record revenues to either provide you with a managed service to do your migration to Azure or to maintain and operate your Azure solution for you through our managed services team, or potentially we can leverage some of your partner of record funding to co-fund some of the training options as well. So thanks for taking the time to watch this. Feel free to reach out to Cindy if you have any questions, and hopefully I'll speak to you in the future.